guys, you're welcome back to my channel. It's the one and only girl in the mic, Claire. Thanks so much for coming back again today. From the topic, you have seen that we are here to talk about plastering. All you need to know about plastering your building, how to calculate how many bags of cement you need for your building, and how many tons of sand that will be required for the cement. That is what we are going to talk about today. At the end of it, we are also going to give you an example of a building that was plastered and how it was calculated, so that you also can do the calculation by yourself while planning to plaster your building or while plastering your building. We are here to help you know what you really need to know about building in order not to be cheated anymore by some people. Yeah, that is our work here. If today is the first time of coming, you're highly welcome. Fina here loves you so much. Please do share this video after watching, or even as you're watching it right now, because it's going to be helpful to you. And also subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And for my returning subscribers, I will always be so thankful to you. Thank you for coming back again. So today, let's dive into the video, guys. Today we are talking about the raw way of knowing or calculating the materials that you need for your plastering. That is what we are about to talk. We are not just here to tell you how many bags of cement you need for a duplex. No, we are here to give you details on how to calculate your materials by yourself, so that you can do that by yourself without asking questions anymore. Firstly, you should know how many bags of cement that will be required. For you to know how many tons of sand that will also be required as well. How will you know this? That is the first question. You can only know that by knowing the thickness of the plastering. You know, sometimes there is a video I uploaded some time ago on plastering. Some people were, one man, not some people, just one person, we are like, wow, why are people deceiving people, this cement for plastering? That is why I had to come up with this video, so that we all will know that there are different thicknesses when it comes to plastering, you know, and that will determine how many bags of cement and the quantity of sand that will be needed as well. So normally the thickness of the external wall plastering is from 15 mm thickness to 20 mm thickness, while the internal wall plastering is from 12 mm thickness to 15 mm thickness. And then the concrete face is normally from 6 mm thickness to 8 mm thickness, you see. So secondly, now that you have known the thickness, we have known that we have different thickness when it comes to plastering. Now the second question is to know the measurement of sand and cement required for this thickness. Yes, if for example you are using, okay, before I get that, let me follow it line by line. So now for external wall plastering, we have for example 1:5 to 1:6. While for internal wall plastering, the thickness the measurement is always 1:3 to 1:4. This simply means, for example, if we are working with 1:5, it means 1 bucket of cement to 5 buckets of sand. Are we together? If they tell you that the measurement for your plastering is 1:5, you should know that they are talking about 1 bucket of cement to 5 buckets of sand. I know another question. The next question is, how do I know how many bags of cement makes up a ton? Because before this, I know some of it, there's somebody I've explained this to before, and it was like, how will I come and start measuring sand in buckets and all that for me to know? So I want to tell you to make it easier, because here in Nigeria, and I believe even in other places, sands are always being sold at tons. You know, they will tell you one trip of sand is always, the smaller one is 5 tons, the following one 10 tons, 20 tons, 30 tons. So it depends on the size of the truck. So now let's work with 10 tons. We would work with 10 tons, sorry. But before then, let's know how many bags of cement that makes up a ton, so that we'll be able to calculate it. We all know that one bag of cement is 50 kg, right? And I think there is 25 kg, but I'm working with 50 kg. So if one bag of cement is 50 kg, and we also know that a metric unit of mass, or a metric ton, equals 1000 kg. Now, if a ton is 1000 kg, how do you find out how many bags of cement that will make up that ton? One bag is 50 kg, right? So what you are going to do is to divide that 1000 kg that makes up a ton by that 50 kg, which will give you 20 bags. Yeah. So 20 bags of cement makes up a ton. Are we together? 20 bags of cement makes up a ton. And if 20 bags of cement makes up a ton, it means that that 20 bags of cement will be going for example, if you are working with the 1:4, for example, let's work with that. If you are working with 1:4, we should know that 1 ton of cement, which is 20 bags, will go with 4 tons of sand. So that is it. That is how to calculate your cement and your sand together. Let's give an example. You should know that if 20 bags of cement, as I've said before, which makes up a ton, will go for example, 1:4, as I've said, 20 bags of cement will go for 4 tons, which means that 40 bags of cement will go for 8 tons. And 100 bags of cement, I'm using the 1:4 as an example. 100 bags of cement will go for 20 tons, which is 2 trips of sand. Are we together? So if you are going with the measurement of 1:6, for example, you should know that 100 tons will be going for 30 tons of 100 bags of cement will be going for 30 tons of sand. And if you are working with the measurement of 1:3, you should know that 100 bags of cement should be going with 15 tons of sand. And if it's that of 1:5, you should know that 100 bags of cement should be going with 25 tons of sand. So that is how it's being calculated. It's just for you to know how many bags of cement that makes up a ton, and then you will be able to calculate your materials by yourself. So another one is, you should also know that one bag of 50 kg cement can cover like 84 square feet area of your external wall. Okay, it's 4 square feet area of your external wall when plastering. Did you get what I just said? I said you should know that one bag of cement should be able to cover up to 84 feet area of your external wall plastering. While that of internal wall, one bag of cement should be able to cover up to 100 square feet footage. And another secret you should know also that will help you if you can start calculating or checking the measurement of your building and all that. It's always difficult for some of us, so you can as well take this, that 6 to 8 bags of cement covers one room, a regular room. So if your room is so wide, so big, that it's not just the regular size of room, you should be expecting anything from 8 bags to 10 bags of cement to cover up your one room for you. And that is where you see all these differences. You hear some people saying, I use 100 bags of cement for my 2-bedroom flat. Another person will say, I use 80 for this. Measurement is very, very necessary. The thickness is very, very necessary. Then the size of your building is also very, very necessary to consider. Because once you know all these things, you should be able to know how many or the quantity of materials that will be needed for your plastering. And most of the times in Nigeria, or should I say most of the times, or sometimes, you say, according to the engineer, you say that sometimes they don't really use up to, for example, if you are working with 1.5 ratio, 1:5 now, which is supposed to be 1 ton of cement to 5 ton of sand. So he now say that normally that's 1:5, for example, supposed to be like 40 bags of cement, which is 2 tons, to 10 tons of sand. You get? But because some sand suppliers in Nigeria, their measurements are not always up to 10 tons. He said some of them will supply one trip and tell you it's 10 tons, but when you measure, if you have time to start measuring, you see that they are not up to that 10 tons. And because of that, they normally use like 35 bags to 38 bags of cement to mix with that 10 tons, because the sand is not up to 10 tons. So it's either 35 to 38. Sometimes, if you see someone who will supply you exactly 10 tons, you can also use 38 to 40 bags of cement. And secondly, some bags of cement here in Nigeria are not up to 50 kg. This is another problem, and because of that, that is why they cannot really give you the exact amount you'll be using for this and that. But I just deemed it fit that it's very necessary we should know this. At least now you also know that 35 to 38 bags of cement can go for the so-called 10 tons, even if it's not up to 10 tons. At least anything from 35 to 38 will be able to go for it. And secondly, if we are using the kind of cement that is not up to 50 kg, you should also expect to use more, because more cement will be used than who is using a cement that is up to 50 kg. It doesn't mean that all the cement in Nigeria is not up to 50 kg. There are some. Sometimes it might be factory error, so, but it happens. Yes, that is what, so I always do that. That is better you stay with your workers, monitor them, watch what they are doing, for you to know the exact quantity they are using. And also, so now I think I should just give you an example of a building that was plastered. It's just a 3-bedroom bungalow. I want to give you an example how it was calculated and how we landed at the cost which we used for the plastering, for you to understand more of what I've been trying to explain to you. Please, if you are enjoying this video, kindly share this video after watching it, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. All right, thank you so much. So, plastering of 3-bedroom bungalow in Nigeria. For the external side, external wall, we used 1:6 in this building. 1:6, which the thickness should be 20 mm, and we used 57 bags of cement. 57 bags. When you calculate with the explanation I have given you, you will see that that's 57 bags with the measurement of 1:6. So with the measurement of 1:6 is 18 tons of sand. So that is because we use 38 bags. And then you know that one trip is 10 tons, as they say. So we bought 2 trips for that, which is supposed to be 20 tons. But they said it's not always up to 20 tons. Then for the internal wall, we use the measurement of 1:4, which is 1 ton ratio 4 ton, 1 ton of cement ratio 4 tons of sand. That is the measurement we used, with the thickness of 12 mm. So we used 43 bags of cement. 43 bags of cement, which was used with 9 tons of sand. When you calculate it, you will see that it will give you the same thing, 9 tons of sand, and normally one trip is 10 tons, so we had to buy another one trip which is supposed to be 10 tons. So altogether we bought 3 trips of sand, which is supposed to be 30 tons of sand with 100 bags of cement, because the external consumed 57, the internal consumed 43, which altogether is 100 bags of cement with 3 trips of sand, or 30 tons of sand. Please remember the measurements I used here with their thickness. That will help you to know how to calculate your own. If they are using 1.5 for you or 1.3 for you, you should expect different quantity of materials. But that is why I had to tell you the measurements we use with their thickness, so that you can be aware. So totaling everything that was used for this 3-bedroom bungalow, the cement and sand, cement is 3/8, as we know where we worked it was 3/8. There are some places, I've said it before, you get it 4,000. There are some products you also get 4,000 for too. So it depends on what you are going for and where you are working from. So we bought the 3/8, that 100 bags is 380,000, while the sand was 30,000 per trip. That is 30,000 per 10 tons. So that 30 tons altogether resulted to 90,000 naira. When it comes to water, I will always talk about water, that before you even start building, you should make sure that you have water in your site. So there is water, there was water there, we didn't buy any water. But if you don't have well or borehole, you should include that to your cost. Secondly is that I don't know if your building is high enough. You know, you'll be needing some length of bamboo and boards, if you don't have boards and woods anymore in your site, because some buildings are already old that even the woods there have been eaten up by termites. So if that is the issue or the case with your own, you should know that you will also be getting those. Though as a bungalow you don't need much. That is if they will get them at all. Sometimes they just go get drums, you know, that they can just climb and plaster it up. So it depends. But when you are building an upstairs, a story building, duplex, you should know that you will be using bamboo for scaffolding. You'll be needing binding wire as well. You'll be needing nails. Yes, we bought some nails for this one, because we bought little, just like 10 lengths of woods 2x4. So you will equally be needing nails. You'll be needing water. I've said that before. And boards as well, if you don't have any more, the what they can use for the scaffolding. And then here we added transportation. Depends on where you are building. There are some places when you buy cement, you will transport it by yourself. There are some places they will calculate the amount together with the transportation. So it depends. So here we paid for transportation. They said it's 15 naira per bag. So, and we know you all know already that we bought 10 bags for this. So 10 times 50 is just 50,000 naira. Then another thing is the labor now, with the money paid to the foreman, and then the engineer's money. One thing I want you to know, because sometimes some of you will go and be like, others are using 100,000 to plaster bungalow, others are using 150 to plaster. Your engineer is calling money. I want you to understand that when you are using all these medicine people, they won't charge you much, because they are doing the work by themselves. So the payment, all the money is going to their pocket. But when you are using an engineer is only there to instruct and supervise the work. most at times they are not the one to do. They will get the bricklayer that will do it, the carpenter that will put things together for them to make use of. So all these people, he will pay them, and then he will have to get something into his pocket as well because of his time. So that is how it works. Engineers don't just go there to supervise work for you, pay the workers, and tell you thank you, sir. It's not done like that. So that is what always bring about the differences in workmanship. So like in this one, the whole labor charges with the engineers, the foreman, and all that was 250,000 naira. I know you can use 100,000 to do that work. You can use 80,000 to do it. You can use 150, depending on where you are working or your site is, your area, your state, and all that is possible. So at the end of all the calculation, we landed at 742,000 naira, approximately 750,000 naira for this 3-bedroom bungalow. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate, and I hope you will not forget to share the video.